Going through all the papers on Easter Sunday, this is Football Talks. Welcome to the show, everybody. If you are new to the show, please do get involved in the chat. Give me your comments on everything that we're talking about. We delve into all the stories circulating in the tabloids every Sunday here on Football Talks, covering all the Premier League gossip columns and interesting stories, the ones that pop out. And there is only one place to start. One place to start with the paper round today, which is the Ollie Watkins situation. Now, this was, I think if you watched the game yesterday, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And by that, I mean the Villa-Newcastle game. Now, everybody has been wondering why Ollie Watkins has not featured ahead of the likes of Marcus Rashford. So, when you go into the actual papers today and you look at it and you look at everything that's actually going on, you'll see this story straight away. It's nearly on every single back page. Actually, I need to just stop that there. Sorry, but bear with me 1 second, everybody. I've got it on a continuation here, so I'll start again. Watkins, there we go. All right, that's the story. Now, shock. When you look at what's happened with Marcus Rashford at Aston Villa, it looks a bit strange, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it? It's like, how is Marcus Rashford starting games ahead of Ollie Watkins? And when you read into what Watkins said, he was on Sky Sports. You listen to what Watkins actually said. I'll go through it now, actually, so you've got it all here. So, the story is here. Ollie Watkins was fueled by anger as he helped Aston Villa to a vital win. The England ace has had to play second fiddle to Marcus Rashford, but scored one and made one to sink Newcastle after being recalled by boss Unai Emery for the game. But Watkins admits he was not happy to be left on the bench against PSG and told his manager as much. He said, I'm not going to lie, I was fuming I wasn't playing. I let him know that. He's the manager at the end of the day. I respect his decision, but I'm not one of the players happy to sit on the bench. It's something I haven't experienced before, missing out on the biggest stage. You also want to play, especially in the Champions League. Me and a few others, that's interesting on that one, are disappointed we didn't start the game, but like I said, it's the manager's decision. I wanted to be starting in the important games because I've played a big part to get to where we are today. Rather than let that hinder you, you have to use that anger and let it spur you on to prove the manager different. Emery insisted, saying it was a very good conversation between him and Watkins. I want to try and help my players. We have increased clearly the level and demands. Before we didn't have enough players to play. If we had 2 players per position, not only 11 players, then the squad has momentum. It's fantastic when he plays like today. I'm very happy with my players. And that pretty much was Ollie Watkins. I mean, you tell me in the chat as well with this one. When you look at it, when you listen to what Watkins said, you could hear it in his voice. Not happy and quite open about talking about what he said to the manager. Obviously, everybody's been asking the questions as to... I mean, Rashford played well against PSG, did. And Watkins came on, didn't really do much. Watkins came on in the game before and got the win over Southampton pretty much single-handedly. So that's really, when you look at it, is probably where Watkins' argument is in all of this. I think Watkins definitely he's unhappy. I'll say that. He's definitely unhappy with his position behind Marcus Rashford right now. And the key thing in that comment there, I thought, and what Watkins said was that he feels like he's part of the team that got them where they are now. Should he be given more of a chance rather than someone that's just been brought in who failed at his previous club on loan over him? And I can see this causing a problem right now. And when you look at all the papers and what they are talking about this morning, it is all fueled by the Watkins talk. Like it says there in the Daily Mail, it's shock, sub help striker boost Villa's European hopes. Now, he wanted to be playing in the Champions League. He's just contributed to Aston Villa taking a major step in going into the Champions League. with this and getting into the top 5. That was a massive result against Newcastle and has really put the cat amongst the pigeons when it comes to who's actually going to fall out now. It's looking bad for Chelsea at the moment when you look at the league table. Brilliant result for Aston Villa over a rival for one of them Champions League spots. And I think Watkins 100% there, making his mark on what is going on at Aston Villa. To be honest, I'm going to ask the chat right now actually on this. Who would you play? Who starts for you over Watkins and Rashford? That's what you've got to know. But there is actually now speculation in the papers today going on about Watkins being a swap for Marcus Rashford. I mean, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty certain that won't happen, to be honest. But it's interesting, isn't it? All of a sudden, we're now hearing from a Premier League player coming towards the end of the season, coming out and talking on Sky cameras about his conversations with the manager. That usually doesn't happen. They never really bring up private conversations that they've had with the manager. I think he handled it well, and I think he's covered himself there a little bit, Watkins, by saying, look, he's the manager, and I respect his decisions. But it's not usually something that comes out. It definitely isn't the norm. I think we can safely say that, especially not on national TV straight after a game. It's like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to contribute, and then I'm going to have my piece. I think Ollie Watkins, really looking at that, couldn't wait to get on the cameras and get in front of them and have his piece on it, because I think he does feel like he has been put back, really. And I think I would be pissed off as well, wouldn't you? Sorry for swearing on a Sunday, Easter Sunday morning. But again, I'm just about to mention that one name that really riles me, which is Marcus Rashford. If he came in after what he had done at Manchester United and took my spot in the side, that spot that I made my own, and obviously got Villa, or contributed, like he said, to Villa to where they are now and competing in the competitions that they're actually in, to play second fiddle to Rashford is a bit of an insult. It is, because Watkins contributed for England big time in the Euros. Rashford did nothing. Rashford's contributed nothing to Manchester United over the last 6 months before he signed for Aston Villa. Watkins had. He'd been tearing it up again. Great numbers again, Ollie Watkins. Maybe not as good as the season before, but still a lot better than Marcus Rashford. And this, I think, is just, I think it's interesting now, because Unai Emery, like he said there, now we have a lot of players. It's fantastic. Well, welcome to competing at the highest level again, Unai, because now you do need a squad, and now you're going to have good players fighting for a position that is going to cause problems, because Watkins hasn't got as much time. I think he's still young enough. I think he's 29, Watkins, which surprises a lot of people. So coming to the not full twilight of his career, but he feels like he's in the peak of his and the pinnacle of his career right now, and he should be playing. And I think 80% of the vote would be that Watkins should start over Marcus Rashford. And that's what I would predict anyway. I mean, you only have to ask Manchester United fans what they would think anyway. But we have a poll running right now. Would you swap Watkins for Rashford? On that alone, I think that is a Manchester United poll right there. But I think it comes into the category as well. Who is the better player? Who would you rather have in your team? Watkins or Marcus Rashford? And 73% of the people so far, please do vote on the poll as well. 73% of people have said that they would take Watkins over Marcus Rashford. It's a great little debate, that one, because Rashford, I think, adds something to the way that Unai Emery wants to play like. I think he adds a different element there. And it's not necessarily that I think that Unai Emery is rating Rashford higher than Watkins. I think they're different. Watkins is a striker. Rashford's a wide player. But I think he's just tried to mix it up in how he plays with Marcus Rashford. I think that's what's happening here. But Unai Emery could have really uncovered a little problem here for himself going into the transfer window. If he commits to buy Marcus Rashford, what does that tell you in what's going to happen with Ollie Watkins? That's what I think everybody's waiting to see on this one. Okay, let's get into a few comments on this one as well. Arsenal wanted Watkins in January. I reckon they will sign him in the summer window, not Gyökeres. Again, though, 29. Red Rebellion. I get it. Like there is that bit to it there. Finished article, comes in, scores your goals, maybe wins you the league. Can you invest 50 or 60 million, whatever it's going to cost you to get Watkins out for just maybe 3 years? This is a very similar situation to United with Fergie and Van Persie, I think. Closest thing I can use to sort of compare. I think it's that. Do you go out and buy a player that's probably going to help you win the league next season? I think if you put Watkins in Arsenal's side right now, I think Arsenal would win the league. I do. I think they've got the best defence, one of the best goalkeepers, best midfield. They just haven't got the strike force. They've got the best wing players. Honestly, that Arsenal, if they'd have bought Watkins, I think Arsenal would have challenged for the Premier League in January if they'd have committed that money. Now, they may win the Champions League and everyone will forget about that mishap. But even if Arsenal go into the game with PSG and compete with PSG and go out, everyone's still going to go down on that moment about not buying Ollie Watkins. He would have made the difference. 100% made the difference for Arsenal. And that's going to be interesting if anyone takes that plunge in the summer. I really do. But what does 6 months do? If you were going to buy him, like Red Rebellion says there in the chat, if you were going to buy him in January, why is 6 months going to make any difference from you going for him again in the summer? And Watkins, going off what he's talking about here and how he's come out, I think would definitely be interested in a move away from Villa if someone came in. It has to be the right club, and obviously in the Champions League, takes United out. But so that story about United swapping Watkins for Rashford, that's never going to happen. Not in a million years. But another Premier League club in the Champions League looking, I mean, Chelsea, if they sneaked in. Look, Watkins will have a decision to make. And obviously Rashford is on loan. He's not a Villa player. So it all depends on what Emery does with Rashford. So I think we won't know about Watkins moving until the decision on Marcus Rashford is made. Watkins, Duran, Rashford. Duran and Watkins over Rashford, says Anno. Yet somehow Rashford has been starting over Watkins now while Duran didn't. This is the thing. What has Marcus Rashford got over everyone? Tuchel, Emery. The only man that stood up to Marcus Rashford is Ruben Amorim. What is it with Marcus Rashford? What is he doing? Why do people play him? I don't get it. I really don't get how he's in the England squad. I don't get why he's ahead of Watkins. I don't get. It's a great point there from Anno. Duran wasn't getting ahead of Watkins, and Duran's better than Rashford, a lot of people would say. Yet Rashford keeps on starting games. It must be just because he can play wider and do something out wide that Emery wants him to do. It's got to be. Maybe that more explosive attacking speed out wide on the counter-attack for Unai Emery. Maybe that's it. But I think Rashford has started 6 of the last 7. So it started 6 of the last 8. The only 2 he hasn't started have been Southampton in the Premier League last week and Newcastle in the league yesterday. So he's played every other game ahead of Watkins apart from them 2. And them 2 really are either side or in between the Champions League games. And I think that's the point Watkins is making in that Sky interview. I think that's where we're at with that one. Who the hell are you to be insulting people? Oh, I don't know what that one is. Is someone falling out in the chats? Sort it out, mods, please. Don't have any fighting and scrapping. It's a nice Sunday Easter morning. So, yep. Go and eat an Easter egg. Calm down, people. Emery did not like Duran due to him wanting to leave. I would take Duran over both Watkins and Rashford, says Red Rebellion. Interesting. Very interesting. But yes, that is our top story on that. And keep your comments flooding in on that one, please, everybody. We are going to move into other stories as well. Onana. Now, we talked about this before on Football Talks, but this is the story that I was saying was going to start doing the rounds in the papers. As you can see there, everything is there. Rashford swap deal, the situation with Aston Villa smashing Newcastle. This has come from the Express. Now, Onana keeping his Manchester United spot, and this has come about from last night. The Daily Mirror, I think, were the first to run with this as well, but it's gone through every single tabloid newspaper that Andre Onana is going to be Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper next season, unless the Saudi Pro League come in for him. Now, the report is that there is suitors for Andre Onana in Europe and in the Saudi Pro League. And now United want to keep him. I don't know if this is United wanted to keep Onana in because they want to make him look important and try and sell him. Because there is stories going around about United's scouts at the Porto game looking at Diogo Costa. Now, that is another story floating around. We know about Lamens as well. We know about Trafford. We know about Suzuki. We know about Verbruggen. All of these goalkeepers linked with Manchester United. I always say no smoke without fire, but United need 20 million for Onana just to break even and say goodbye. Now, Onana's on decent wages with certain bonuses. We know that he came into Carrington last week to renegotiate his deal because he wasn't happy that he was losing the 25% of his salary because United weren't in the Champions League. So he's changed his agents and gone into United to try and renegotiate that deal. I would say bye-bye as soon as he actually came in and said that. I've made a big point about that. That is laughable. But that's the situation where we're at right now with Onana. That is that United want at least 20 million. I think that's doable. I think that is more than doable for Onana. I really do. So that's another story that is doing the rounds. Get your comments in on that one as well. I'm going to do a whole section on the comment section very soon as well on the show as well. But here's an interesting one. This is L'Équipe. So spinning off a little bit from the standard tabloid papers. But I wanted to bring this one up again because Mason Greenwood scoring another 2 goals. It looks like the exile and the fallout between him and De Zerbi has ended, it would seem, because he's back in the team and he's back scoring goals. I'm just going to bring up the league table right now. I'm just going to show you exactly what Mason Greenwood's season is actually, what it actually consists of and how good he's actually done, because this could be big for Manchester United going forward as well. There is a possibility that Mason Greenwood could be sold on by Marseille. So when you look at it, let's have a quick nosy on. So right now, Mason Greenwood has 18 goals in Ligue 1 for Marseille. And that's behind Ousmane Dembele, who has got 21. So Mason Greenwood, his conversion rate and he's had an absolutely phenomenal season. A phenomenal season. When you talk, let's just put this into, when you put this into perspective and you talk about the players in Ligue 1 that people are looking at. For instance, Jonathan David. Everyone wants Jonathan David next season going into the transfer window. Jonathan David's got 14 goals. Barcola from PSG is having a great season, helping them and contributing to them getting into the Champions League semi-finals. He's only got 13. Mason Greenwood, right now, honestly, you look at him and what he's done for Marseille. I'm just going to bring up the table as well. Marseille second, comfortably sat in. Mason Greenwood has got Marseille, and you could arguably say this, he's got Marseille to the Champions League next season. But you look at it right now, where they're at, 55 points, Marseille, 30 games played. Mason Greenwood's got them tucked in there. Obviously, there's other players in the team as well, but I think in Manchester United, if Marseille were to sell Greenwood on, that problem continues. You look at that and you say that United could really cash in on this. Manchester United make 50% of any profit from the transfer that Marseille make off the back of Mason Greenwood leaving. So that means that how much money they make, over 27 million, Marseille, would mean that Manchester United would make, say for instance, if he went to the Saudi Pro League or someone spent 70 million on Mason Greenwood, and then you're looking at what profit Marseille make there. So 27 million, 70 million. So what you're looking at there, you're looking at pretty much 47 million profit that Marseille have made on that sale. Is that about right? Yep. So 43 million, sorry. So that's what Marseille have made profit-wise. United would take half of that. So basically 21.5 million or something like that. So it could be big. It could be big. And it's the only reason I brought up that story on that one is because of Manchester United actually being able to actually earn off Mason Greenwood in that as well. The Mirror, I've gone with the full-on Manchester United Watkins swap situation. Again, I just think that the papers are going down on what Watkins said. The papers have run with this story because of the fallout. There is no swap deal to be had. None at all. And again, it brings up the top story that we've spoken about this morning, in that Manchester United with Ollie Watkins and that situation with Marcus Rashford, I just feel like it's a no-go for United because Watkins wants to play Champions League football. Watkins is too old. And Manchester United need to build from where we are right now. And I think that's not going to happen. And I think the stories this morning in the papers are just all running with the same thing, which is just jumping off the back of what happened. And Watkins has fed the tabloids. He really has. He really has. And I think that this is why everybody's going with the same story this morning. But I can tell you right now, there is nothing in Ollie Watkins moving to Manchester United in any form or any swap at all. So, yes. I just wanted to bring them stories up, show you what the papers were saying, go through them, get your conversations going in the live chat. I'm going to get into this now, and then we're going to move on to the next story as well after that. But just on the likes of Mason Greenwood and Ollie Watkins, the situation from the United side of things, it's interesting, isn't it, how Mason Greenwood has left Manchester United and has absolutely smashed it over in Ligue 1. And to be up there alongside Ousmane Dembele as the top scorer in Ligue 1, that's quite good. That's quite good. And Marseille have bagged a few goals. Marseille have bagged quite a lot of goals this season as well. So, yeah. I mean, let's get into some comments on that before we bring up the rest of the paper talk. So, let's get into it. Jeffrey says, over 200 in the room. 50 likes is a minimum, personally. I think we should be going for 100, pretty please. So, if you haven't given the video a like, Jeffrey has said that you need to like the video, everyone. 50 up, 250 in the room. Great numbers, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do comments. That's what it's all about, this section now. Want all of your comments in. Rashford is much less consistent, but is capable of a moment of brilliance, as much as we don't need that, Villa do. Yeah, maybe. But then again, the Champions League is over now. Watkins has done the job in the Premier League in the last 2 games alone for Aston Villa. And he's going to be the reason why Villa actually qualify for the Champions League again this season. Because Rashford scored, 1 Premier League goal? Watkins has just come off the bench against Southampton after Rashford started again last week and scored and contributed another assist. And he's done the same again, assist and a goal against Newcastle again. 4 goal involvements in 2 games for Ollie Watkins. Pretty much propelling Aston Villa into the... actually, let me bring up the table actually and see where that has actually taken Villa. I've not actually had a good nosy at the table. So, it's looking a bit dicey now for Nottingham Forest. It really is. So, Villa have played a game more than Nottingham Forest, but Villa in 6th, Forest are in 5th now on level points. So, Villa are out of the Champions League places now on goal difference. But looking at everybody in that top 6 right now, Villa's form is better than everyone else's in the league. That is 5 wins in a row for Aston Villa in the league. That has propelled them up. They are now holding the Europa League position safely right now, ahead of Chelsea. Chelsea can go ahead of them if they win today, obviously. But Villa have closed the gap. It is going to be a fight between, I feel, the likes of Chelsea and Aston Villa. I think Forest will drop out of Europe completely. I think they're dropping fast. Right. In fact, today, if Chelsea do get the win today, Forest will drop out of the Champions League places for the first time in months. It will be sad to see it, but obviously Forest can counter that by winning themselves. But if Forest fall continues and they lose today and Chelsea win, that will be Forest out of the Champions League places. So down to 5th Forest, Villa into 6th. And Watkins' form in the league is definitely standing up. And I think that's what's holding them there. Again, bringing up his arguments. We've conceded 10 goals in our last 3 games. It's not all down to the keeper. It says Block. That's talking about the Onana situation. How I wish Greenwood wasn't a git. Would have solved so many problems for Manchester United. Why did he do what he did? And why did we have to sell him? Him and United's side under Ruben Amorim. Oh God, can you imagine? He would be the ideal player for United right now. He's everything that we needed. I cannot believe it. The sell-on clause will bring Man United money. I think I think Greenwood will definitely fetch a high transfer fee if he is sold on. I mean, he might be happy to stay. Marseille look odds on to play in the Champions League next season. Mason Greenwood playing Champions League football. Marcus Rashford playing Champions League football. Where are Man United? Bottom half of the table. It just shows you, doesn't it? They have left for better things, and United are stuck with the aftermath of what they left. That again shows you how poorly Manchester United were managed. It is disgraceful, isn't it, in terms of what happened to Manchester United. God, It makes you really think. I can't argue that it's the style of play, but defensively, we are miles ahead of them, both in terms of ability and technical experience. This must be a debate going on between two people. I could see Greenwood going to Spain. It's suited to his style. It's only Atletico. It's a good move. They've got the money. That could be a move for him again. I think Atletico will end up taking loads of former United players next season, going off what the reports are saying anyway. Right, into the other news and other reports going around. Just going to bring these up and go through them as they stand, as it goes. We talked on FUTV earlier on about Manchester United looking at Eberechi Eze from Palace. That's the Sun that was reporting that one. The Sun also saying Liverpool are lining up a move for Brentford hitman Bryan Mbeumo despite Mo Salah signing a new deal. Virgil van Dijk earned $3 million in image rights and sponsorship deals last season. It's not bad, especially after signing that new contract either. That was reports from the Sun from the Liverpool side of things. So Van Dijk's on an absolute wad, and Liverpool looking at Bryan Mbeumo. Do you know what? Bryan Mbeumo to Liverpool, that's not actually a bad signing for Liverpool. I think he would complement. If you're going to get rid of, and the big story from Liverpool, of course, isn't the contract situation. Yesterday, you would have seen I did a shot on Darwin Nunez. He reportedly has not had a fight or scuffles or fallouts on the training ground with staff, as reported. There was speculation that Darwin Nunez had been left out of the West Ham game because he's had a fallout with backroom staff. Apparently not the case, according to Slot. Be interesting to see if he plays today, though, as well in the Liverpool side, Darwin Nunez. But it is all looking like Darwin Nunez is going to be out of Liverpool in the summer. Liverpool looking to cash in, how much they would make for him. I did a short yesterday on this, asking if Darwin Nunez has been a flop. I think I should ask the chat that right now. Darwin Nunez at Liverpool, flop or not? A Klopp flop or a slop flop for Darwin Nunez, sorry. Darwin Nunez. What are we saying, everybody? Has Darwin Nunez been a flop at Liverpool? Just to break it down, 138 games for Darwin Nunez, 66 goal contributions in that time. Nearly averaging a goal contribution every other game in his time at Liverpool in 3 years. Is that flop territory? 40 goals, 26 assists. You could say he's contributing 20 goal involvements a season near enough in his 3 years. They did pay 72 million quid for him though. So is Darwin Nunez a flop? That's the question we're asking. Frank says flop. Shosky says flop. Jim flop. Flip flop says Welshman. He gets into such good positions but just can't finish. Nunez not being great, but I take him over Højlund. Yep, I think United fans would take him as well over Højlund. That's a Liverpool fan having his say on that one there. I can clearly see that one. But the story is obviously in the Sun today that Bryan Mbeumo is a target for Liverpool. I see that making sense. Darwin Nunez going and Mbeumo coming in, I think you get more. I think Mbeumo's a better player. I think he would complement Liverpool's style of play as well. I think that's a fit. Liverpool fans, tell me, would you take Mbeumo? I would take Mbeumo at Man United. I think he's a good player. He's a flop. He made Klopp tired missing open goals every game. Let's see. I rate him. He just needs to install calmness in his finishing. He's always trying to lash it home. He does put some serious work rate in, doesn't he? He really, really does. Thank you, everybody. Creeping up to 300 in the room and over 70 likes as well. Good numbers today on Football Talks, everybody, on the paper round. Thank you so much. Keep your comments coming on this. Rasmus is better finisher. Really? You reckon, Ray? I don't know. Rasmus numbers are shocking. I mean, Nunez numbers, you'd expect more for 72 million. I think that's what I would say. I think Bryan Mbeumo would get better numbers in a 3-year spell at Liverpool than what Nunez would. That would be 100% guaranteed. Other stories doing the rounds. Bournemouth defender Dean Howson is reportedly giving himself a month to decide on his future, but wants to stay in the Premier League next season. Oh, now, it was reported that Howson was supposedly going abroad. I think there were a few big clubs interested in him, one of them Real Madrid. I mean, Barcelona have been rumoured to be interested in him as well. A few other big European clubs, Italy, have been interested in him. 50 million release clause. He wants to stay in the Premier League, though. The babyface giant, who has performed well for Bournemouth this season, looks like he's going to be on the move. That, I think, would be... In terms of United, I would like someone like that. United, I think he's a good player. I really do. Scored against United at Old Trafford, actually. Good goal. Great in the air, good with the ball, good passer, composed. One season in, really shining this season, in a great season for Bournemouth. Does that warrant a big move away? I think everybody's just jumping onto the age factor in this as well. Like, to 50 million for someone who is, I think he's only 19. He's definitely a good player. And interesting to see where he goes. He'll be good at United, but I don't think United would have the money for him. I could see someone like Manchester City going for a Howson, definitely. Maybe start replacing the likes of Stones, who's been unreliable. You could definitely see him fitting in at Liverpool, I think, as well. Chelsea. It could be one of them sorts of clubs. A good signing for Newcastle if they get Champions League football. I think that's going to be an interesting one to see, actually. Arne Slot has hit back at suggestions that Champions-elect Liverpool's success will be diminished because it has been a poor Premier League this season. Arne Slot there basically saying that other teams have really fallen rather than Liverpool being good. I mean, look at the table. I mean, I agree with probably Slot on this one, to be honest. Liverpool, 32 games, 23 wins, 7 draws, 2 defeats. They're on 76 points right now with 6 games left to play. I think Liverpool can hit the 90-point mark. That would win any Premier League season. Even you would be up there competing for any of the recent Premier League seasons with that amount of points. So it's not that Liverpool have got lucky. Liverpool are basically there, points-wise, just been better than everybody else. They've been more consistent than anybody else. They've scored more goals than everybody else. It has been, really, when you look at it there's only Arsenal who've got a better defence than Liverpool by 4 goals. Nobody gets anywhere near Liverpool for goals scored. Man City are 10 behind them this season, and that's with Haaland. It just goes to show there, Liverpool securing the signatures of Van Dijk for one of the best defences in the league, and Mo Salah, who's got 27 Premier League goals this season. 27. That's 6 more than Haaland this season. 6 more than Alexander Isak this season. That goes to show how good Liverpool have been this season. How some individual performances have put Liverpool where they are. No, Liverpool haven't got lucky. I think they've just been better. And they've been the most consistent team in the league this season. Pains me to say it because they're about to equal Man United's 20 Premier League titles. It's horrible for United fans, but let's be honest, we can't even come into any conversation about Liverpool at the moment. They are just miles ahead. Adam, I would love to see a blog with Alice talking football. We have done it before, mate. You must have missed that. We will catch up on that again at some point. It's just been that busy, mate. Got to go, guys, says Sean. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Come on, United. See you later, block mates. Have a good one. It ain't our fault City, Arsenal are trash this season. We have dog-walked the league. Yep. It has been a poor end as a spectacle from a neutral watching the Premier League, hasn't it? I think that's what the downside to it all is anyway. Man United putting out a public decoy target, Semenyo, while they get the Cunha deal done behind closed doors, so Chelsea don't come sniffing about. Don't know is the honest answer to that one, Gary. But, hey, look, Semenyo, good player. Cunha, good player. I take Cunha every time. I think I've said that plenty of times on FUTV. Look, that is it, everybody. Next action from us today will be outside Old Trafford. So please do jump across to FUTV. Look out for the the after game content coming your way later on. I'll leave you to your Easter Sunday, everybody. Enjoy. I'll see you all later. And yeah, don't eat too much chocolate. That's all I'll say. But for now, here on Football Talks, thank you, everybody. Please give the video a like on the way out. We've got over 80 likes on the show, which is mega. Thank you so much, everyone. Give a video a like. Make sure you have that subscribe button if you're new to Football Talks. We cover all the other Premier League stuff going around that we don't on FUTV. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, mods in the chats. And I will see you all later on today. Have a good one, everyone.